makes you feel any better, my last name is spelled T-A-S-Z, perennially pronounced Taz. It is actually Tosh, like an S-H. That is neither here nor there. I'm just saying you're not alone, and I apologize. Happy New Year, book buddies. You made it. We are here. Finally, we have made it to our announcement of our 2021 Indie Book Club entries. Those are the books that are going to be joining these guys over here on this shelf. I know it looks a little bit, sparse right now, but as we know from last video, we've only been doing this for half a year, so that shelf will be 200%, 300%. It'll be a lot bigger by this time next year. I'm gonna try to keep this short, quick, and sassy. I've got my list. I'm gonna read it so I don't get too off track. And we are gonna get started here. Okay, here we go. The Indie Book Club 2021 book list announcement. January's book features a crime noir set in the 40s about a gangland adjacent young man who gets caught up in murder and mystery at the Sands Casino. January's book is Maximum Rossi by Paul Papa. He is actually already on the shelf, you can kind of see him. So he's technically our first double, but he was only sort of a cameo in the Halloween episode, so officially, but unofficially. The month of February, a time of love and murder. And as such, we will be doing a Regency romance mystery that combines the traditional Pride and Prejudice set pieces with gruesome murder. February's book is Accusing Mr. Darcy, a Pride and Prejudice variation. Regency romance is not totally my thing. I don't hate it. I don't have anything against it, actually. I just don't know it very well. But I do have a degree in English Lit, so I'm very excited to go back and explore my younger days, my Bronte days, if you will. Our March book is a dark humor fantasy about a Vietnam War survivor turned newspaper publisher who can't tell the difference between his PTSD-fueled fantasies and what might be actual supernatural occurrences in his hometown. For March, we featured The Gopher King from Black Rose Writing in Texas. So when I was running through this list and I was looking at everything, I thought, I should have done The Gopher King for February because of Groundhog's Day. And then I realized I'm an idiot. In April, we returned to our sub-series of Las Vegas Raiders with a LGBT coming-of-age romance about a recently paroled transgender teen who relocates to Brazil, where she tries to live her life as her authentic self until the possibility of new love arises. April's book, Fernando, by Chanel Hardy. For May, we continue our sub-theme of love and disaster. A teenage girl in love with her best friend, but who is waiting for the right time to tell her. However, she better do it soon. The world could be ending at any moment. And It's Not You, by Shyla Thorpe. If I mispronounced your name, please tell me. I will make sure I get it right before your actual episode, because that is not a good look for me or anybody. June is actually a fairy tale double feature just in time for summer. The first book we will be covering is Matriarch, which is a deathbed story about a British expat finding danger, mystery, and magic in a strange land after the Turkish War for Independence. And the second book, Deja Vu, The Realm Surfer. Angels have turned on humanity, and only one stands against them to save us. I want to make it clear that on Amazon, both of those books, the book about the British expat exploring Turkey and the book about the angels turning on humanity, are considered fantasy fairy tale or fairy tale fantasy. I anticipate that that's probably going to be something that we're going to talk about when the time comes. July, America's Month. What better way to celebrate than a political thriller? We also return to our Vegas sub-series with the book Monumental Encounter by Barbie Kinnison, about a team of Navy SEALs hunting down a Taliban operative on American soil with a little help from a higher power. I think we're also going to find sort of another sub-theme of magic in a lot of stuff, maybe even like places where you wouldn't normally find magic. So that's kind of fun. I think we could all use some magic in the coming year. Wouldn't you say? August. I don't really have a good tie-in for this one. The book just sounds really cool, so I'm just gonna read. It's a supernatural mystery starring a private detective with the ability to prevent or predict a murder by the touch of her hand, who then becomes the prime suspect when one of her own clients dies under mysterious circumstances. August book is Eyes of the Grave. September, we round out our Las Vegas Writers series with Alex McKenna and the Geranium Deaths. It's the story of a transgendered boy who must find his place as the latest in a long line of witches that run in his family. I'm really looking forward to reading a lot of these Vegas authors. Like, I've been meaning to read a lot of these books, and a lot of them are serials, of course. So this means that not only do I get the chance to read the book, I get the chance to read the future books, which is great. So October is my favorite month. It's the month, obviously, I write comedy horror, so it's a very dear month to me, and I figured it is an appropriate month to put in a category that I really love when it's done well, and I think this one will do well. It is a category called paranormal satire, and the story is a drunk, dead cop must figure out who is stealing the heads of Gloomwood's most prestigious deceased. The book is called Deadheads, Gloomwood Book 1. Now, I know that this is going to set some people up for confusion because there is a series called Deadheads by a Las Vegas writer. It is not that book this time around. We will probably get to that book later on down the road, but this is Deadheads by Ross Young of the Gloomwood book series. For November, I could have gone with a holiday theme. I went the other way and did a dark fantasy horror because we're just gonna carry over October into the next month because why not? A young man who leaves the safety of his town to venture into the forbidden woods, driven by a desire to save his missing best friend, in The Vial of Desier. I think. It's Deziar. Desier, right? By Kevin Barrick. And then our last book, our book for December. This year I did a time travel book. We were focusing on, New Year's and getting the hell out of this year's worth of Mondays. This year, 2021 year, I decided to go with something a little bit more soul-searchy and hopefully uplifting. Literary fiction magical realism story about a man with the perfect life who gets a terminal diagnosis, which sends him on a journey to clear his conscience, rectify his past, and save his soul. December's book is The Ethereal Road, a solitary tale. So that is our list for 2021. That is the entire ball of wax. You have all the information now. I do want to give a couple of disclaimers here before I head on out. I have only read one of these books fully, and another one about quarter of the way through it. And those are the books for January and February. From talking to the authors as we went through this process of book selection and scheduling, and from diving more into the descriptions of these books, I feel pretty confident that if you were to go and pick up any one of these books, you are going to find a story that is passionate, and a story that comes from a very real place. And that's, in the end, that's what's great about independent books, is you are getting a story that is about as unfiltered as it gets, because it's coming straight from an author. It's, it's likely passing through an editor, maybe a critique group, to, kind of work out those kinks. But in general, these are stories that are very true to what the author's vision is. And for that reason, I'm going to recommend all of them. All of the money is going to the author of these books and the reseller, and you can't get around that. But what I really want to say is I'm not making any money off of promoting these books or encouraging you to buy them. My goal with this is to promote the authors, one, get the work out there in a way that maybe it hasn't been yet. and two, to build conversation around them, and that can include arguments, as long as they're respectful. I don't care if you call me an idiot, you're not allowed to call the authors an idiot. That will be an issue. Mostly just so we can all gather around the topic of independent books, and getting those books seen and getting them talked about and getting them read, because that's why we're all here, is to read books, to enjoy books, and to tell and hear stories. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a great New Year's. I don't know what I'll be doing. It probably won't be in this dress because it's super uncomfortable. Probably not in this hat either. Ugh, so bad. Let's say goodbye to 2020. Be done with it, cross it off the list, and we're moving on. Go find us on Medium. We are The Ugly Cats. On Twitter, we are also now The Ugly Cat, uglycat24. There will also be a list that you can subscribe to for the IBC authors, so you can keep up with them while you're, waiting for the book to come out, or you have questions while you're reading the book. That's another great thing about independent authors, is for the most part, we would kill to engage with our readers. And then of course, like and subscribe here on YouTube, and let everyone know what we're doing over here. Should be a pretty fun year. So have a good night, be safe, and we will see you in 2021. Later. Okay, we're done with that. I have a good feeling about this year. Cheers, everybody.